Hi, this is PD at BurgZerg Arcade at BurgZergArcade.com, and this is tutorial 243 Part H. The last one where we left off, we had just gone ahead and fixed the hair up. And if we actually open up Unity, and I'm going to open up my resources folder, I haven't gone through and done all the hair, but I have actually gone through and done 2 of the hairs. And since I'm only doing this as a demo, I'm not going to waste time going through all 60 hairs. Setting up 2 of them should be enough to give you an idea exactly how they work. And of course we have our prefabs done for our actual characters themselves. And I put them down here. I only have male characters, and of course if you have female, put them there. Actually, while I'm here, one thing that we did forget to do was to make sure these are tagged as player. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, since I'm here. And I believe they save when you tag a prefab. They apparently do. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this down. And let's go create an empty game object. And you can call this object wherever you want. I'm going to call this player mount. Now this is where your player is going to mount in your scene for when you're customizing them. And if you go ahead and look at my online demo, I've got a nice little scene set up. There's like a little pedestal that they stand on. And you can rotate the player around and everything else on there. I'm not going to get that detailed here. Basically just move the mount point around. Get it to where you want it according to your scene. I'm just actually going to try it in its default spot. Only script we need to actually add to it is, let me come down. I'm going to go into scripts. It's under character. Character customization. Player model customization. I believe this is the script. So I'm going to go ahead, just drag that on. And you'll notice that we have a couple variables here for rotation speed. And we'll cover that maybe in the next tutorial. I have a couple little arrows set up that when you click on it, it rotates the player around on the pedestal, so you can see the front and the back, and all the different sides and everything else. This controls what speed it rotates at. And I accidentally increased it. Let's bring it back down to 100 by default. And then there's an array here for female models. There used to be one for males as well. If you go back and watch the tutorial series, you'll see that I get rid of the male ones and move them to game settings 2. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the folder here. And yeah, female models right here. I ended up moving it to the male version anyway, to this list over here, right here. Just because it was I like to have them all in the same spot, and if I ever needed to access this array outside of that script, which I believe I do, I believe in the next scene we'll be accessing it again. I didn't want to have to basically recreate it. So if you do have female character models, go ahead and watch that tutorial and move them over here. If not, I'll probably do it along my cleanup phase, unless for some reason I come into character models that are female and have the same structure as these ones, which is highly unlikely until I get a chance to sit down and actually create them. But anyway, and if you come down into, yeah, right here is where we're one of the spots. Oh, so that's the hair mesh. We don't need to look at that today. If we look at the instantiate, I believe that's where we're actually using the command to create the prefab. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong script. Yeah, if using the male models, we see we're going into the game settings 2, grabbing the model path according to the one we have, the index that we're on for the male model, and here we're not. So this part here just has to be switched over to game settings 2. And I believe that's actually the only spot in the script that we are accessing that array. But like I said, I don't want to change any code in this little mini series, because of the people that haven't purchased the scripts and they're just watching along. They can skip this whole series unless they just want a quick refresher. But anyway, so we got our script hooked up. Nothing really needs to be changed here. I'm just going to shrink things down as I'm running at a lower screen resolution, so I like to be able to see everything. Let's just hit play. Okay, you'll notice the first thing, the little twitchings has to do because I was playing around with the animations, and I've screwed up my animation, so I've got to actually reload an older animation back in. But that's fine. First thing, he's not facing the right way. So what I'm going to do is come into my player mount. I want him facing the camera. Now I can either move the camera around to look at him, or I can just rotate the mount point. Since the character model that we're going to be using actually instantiates underneath the this mount point we're making, if we start it back up, we'll notice that it comes up underneath. It actually takes the orientation that the mount point actually has as well. And it works. And if I have one little button up here to change the basically the type of mesh that we're using. So I have two characters already made. I have the muscular one and I have the fat one. Now obviously my mount point's a little bit too high. As you can see, he's spawning up in the air and falling down. So I'd want to move my mount point down. But as you can see, it does actually create the different mesh for me. And if you're watching over here, it destroys the old one and makes the new one. That's something kind of important to watch out for, because when I was first doing it, I don't think I was actually destroying the old one. So I just ended up with a collection of meshes. But let's go ahead and actually take the Y coordinate. I'm going to cut and paste that right here. Now when I start it back up, it should be fine. I thought it would be fine. It's not fine. And it's because I need to take the coordinates here. So it's negative 1.1. So I'm just going to move this down 1.1. Well, let's just zero it out to begin with. This will make it a lot easier. I don't feel like doing math this early in the morning, in case you notice the time. So we'll start it off. That's a little bit better. So negative, so now we can just cut and paste it. And if we start it up, it might be a little bit too low. That's fine. And of course, if I have my little pedestal there, it would look nice. Now the hairs, I've only got 2 done. And let me actually zoom in. I'm going to move the camera a bit, just so we can actually get a better look at the character. And it'd be nice if I had some little gizmo to show me where the character is. Now, obviously I want to play around with it a bit more, and later on when I come back to the scene, I actually want the camera to be able to move around while I'm customizing stuff. But you should be able to see here. Maybe I'll maximize, give you a bit better review. My starting hair is actually just eyebrows. That's it. And as I rotate through, it goes through all the different indexes of that hair. So there's next is eyebrows and short hair. Next is eyebrows and balding with hair in the back. I don't have my little rotation commands in, but when we get to them, we'll be able to spin them around. And we'll also have to go into how to adjust the hairs. And let's go ahead and, as you can see, I've gone through. I've got another one here. I've actually got 2 hairs set up. So here's the second hair. If you notice, the eyebrows are just a little bit different. And when we get to the third hair, we're actually just going to get an error, as you can see down here. But I do have the first 2 sets of hair done. The next thing I'm going to want to do is add the rotation elements so we can rotate a character around. Now you should go back and actually watch the actual character customization tutorials, because there are quite a few things in there that I've covered that I'm not going to be covering here, because there's a lot of different ways you can interact with a character to customize it. And I've only got my script set up for the one way to do it. But through all the different character customization, I think I've actually done 3 series on it now. Maybe just the 2. I'm pretty sure I've done 3 of them, though. But there are several other ways to customize your character. But the scripts that I'm using are based on the character customization, which I believe is the last set of tutorials I've done on it. And there's little things like the hair doesn't quite line up right on the character's head, so you've got to add some sort of tweaking to it. But anyway, go ahead and watch those. And in the next one, I'm going to go ahead and add the little rotation tools down at the bottom, so I can actually spin my character around and be able to see exactly how how things are fitting on my character. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.